Welcome to YC English Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to YC English Podcast. I'm Yara, and my awesome co-host Caleb is here with me today.
Hey. So glad you're all tuning in. Today we're gonna talk about something that might change how you learn English forever.
Okay, so, have you ever studied for hours and then forgotten everything the next day? Like, what's up with that?
Oh man, yes. That's literally the worst feeling. And honestly, there's actually a reason why that happens, and it's called the learning pyramid.
Exactly. We're gonna break it down scene by scene, and share some super practical tips. Stick around, let's dive in. Okay, so, imagine you're in a class, right? The teacher's talking, you're just sitting there, listening.
And you think you're learning, but honestly, you're not really retaining much.
Right. So the learning pyramid says lectures only have about a 5% retention rate. That's like, almost nothing.
Wait, seriously? 5%? So if you study for an hour by just listening, you only remember 3 minutes worth?
Yeah, exactly. It's kinda depressing, right? But it's also super motivating to change your approach.
Okay, so what do we do instead? I mean, we can't just stop going to classes.
No, but you can make it active. Like, take notes in your own words, ask questions, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's such a good point. So instead of being a sponge just soaking up info, you gotta squeeze it a little.
Huh. I love that metaphor. Yeah, passive learning is like watching a cooking show. You won't actually learn to cook.
Oof. That hit home. Okay, so what's next on the pyramid? What's a bit better than just listening?
For example, the retention rate for reading is only about 10%, which is still low. Think of your brain like a bucket with holes. Retention rate is how much water stays in after you pour it in.
For example, just watching videos without taking notes is passive learning. Passive learning is like lying on a beach, you're getting sun, but you're not building any muscle, you know?
For example, I read the whole chapter but didn't retain a single fact. Retain means keep in your memory. Like trying to hold water in your hands, some always slips through. Alright, so, next up on the pyramid is discussion. And this bumps retention up to like 50%.
Wait, 50? That's huge. So basically, just talking about what you learned doubles it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when you explain something to a friend, you're actually teaching yourself too.
Okay, so, I actually did this last week. I was learning about phrasal verbs, and I called my buddy just to chat.
Oh, nice. And did it work? Like, did you remember them better?
Honestly? Yeah. I used give up and come across in conversation, and now I can't forget them.
That's the whole idea. Discussion forces your brain to retrieve the info, which strengthens the memory.
So it's like your brain is a muscle, and discussion is the workout?
Exactly. And the best part? You don't need a class. Just find a language partner or join an online group.
Totally. And it's way more fun than sitting alone with a textbook. I mean, come on. For example, adding practice questions can bump up your test score. Bump up means increase quickly. Like turning up the volume on your phone, one click and it's louder.
For example, when you quiz yourself, you're practicing retrieving information. Retrieve is like opening a file on your computer. Your brain has the info, but you gotta click to open it.
For example, I found a language partner online and we practice every Tuesday. A language partner is like a workout buddy but for talking. You help each other get stronger in speaking.
Okay, so, next level, practice by doing. The pyramid says this gives you about 75% retention.
75. That's like almost 3/4 of what you learn stays with you.
Right. So instead of just reading about how to order coffee, you actually go and order coffee.
Oh man, that's scary though. I remember the first time I tried ordering in English, I was so nervous.
Of course. But that nervousness is actually a sign that you're learning. It means you're pushing yourself.
So the struggle is part of the process? Okay, I kinda love that reframe.
Totally. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You can watch videos all day, but until you get on, you won't learn.
Yeah, and you'll probably fall a few times. But each fall teaches you something, right?
Exactly. So for English, that means writing emails, making phone calls, even just thinking in English.
Okay, I'm gonna try that today. Like, narrate my morning routine in my head in English.
For example, I prefer hands-on learning. I need to actually try things myself. Hands-on means learning by touching and doing. Like building a Lego set instead of just looking at the box.
For example, you gotta push yourself out of your comfort zone to improve. Push yourself means trying a little harder than feels comfortable. Like stretching 1 more inch in yoga.
For example, I narrate my day in English to practice speaking. Narrate is like being a sports commentator for your own life. Just describe what you're doing out loud. Okay, so, are you ready for the top of the pyramid? Teaching others. 90% retention.
90? That's insane. So if you teach something, you basically never forget it?
Pretty much. Because teaching forces you to organize your thoughts and fill in your own knowledge gaps.
Oh, that's so true. I once had to explain the present perfect to a friend, and I realized I didn't fully get it.
Huh. Yeah, that's the thing. You think you know something until you try to teach it. Then the holes show up.
So teaching is like a test for your own understanding. If you can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough.
Exactly. That quote is famous, right? If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Okay, so how can we do this without actually being teachers? I mean, I'm not gonna start a class.
You don't have to. Just teach a friend, record a video for yourself, or even explain it to your dog.
Wait, my dog? Honestly though, I've done that. And he's a great listener, zero judgment. For example, teaching revealed all my knowledge gaps about grammar. Knowledge gaps are like holes in a fence. You don't see them until you try to hang something on it.
For example, I need to fill in the gaps in my vocabulary before the test. Fill in means to complete something missing. Like adding the last pieces to a jigsaw puzzle.
For example, I love talking to my cat, zero judgment, you know? Zero judgment means nobody is criticizing you. Like talking to a baby, they just smile no matter what.
Alright, so we've talked about all the levels. But the real secret? Consistency. Doing it every day.
Yeah, because one intense study session won't change everything. It's like going to the gym once and expecting muscles.
Huh. Exactly. So how do we make active learning a habit? Any tips?
I'd say start small. Like 5 minutes of teaching your dog a new word. Or 10 minutes of discussion with a friend.
Oh, that's smart. Don't try to do everything at once. Just pick one active method and stick with it for a week.
Right. And track it. Mark a calendar every day you do it. Seeing those check marks is super motivating.
Okay, so, final thought. The learning pyramid isn't about being perfect. It's about being active.
Yeah. Even a little bit of active learning beats hours of passive listening. Every single time.
Love that. So listeners, challenge yourself this week. Teach something, discuss something, do something.
And remember, the struggle means it's working. If it feels hard, you're probably learning.
For example, consistency matters more than studying for 5 hours once a month. Consistency is like watering a plant a little every day instead of dumping a bucket once a week.
For example, I'm gonna stick with this method for at least a month to see results. Stick with means to keep doing something even when it gets boring. Like staying with a running buddy.
For example, I track my study time using a simple app on my phone. Track it means to record your progress. Like leaving breadcrumbs in a forest so you know where you've been. Thanks so much for watching today's episode.
Hit subscribe and we'll see you next time.